Lycans out there. The two favorite uncles back for Cinephellas. I'm Uncle Logan Myers. That's my good mate over there.
And I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and we're back tonight to talk about another January Blumhouse horror film. Just dropped a couple weeks back. It's already hit digital, didn't do too well at the box office. But me and Uncle Logan here have been looking forward to watching it for quite some time. It was directed by Leigh Whannell, who also directed the Invisible Man remake a few years back with Elizabeth Moss. This one, he's redoing the 1941 Universal classic monster movie, Wolfman.
That's right. You know it's going to be a great film when it's released in January and put out by Blumhouse. So we knew we were in for for a treat with this film. I was actually pretty excited for this, but ended up canceling my AMC subscription, so didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters, and I'm thankful for that. Got to watch this to the comfort of my own home. Finally got around to watching it. I love Lee Winnell Upgrade, Invincible Man. I love what he did with that movie, like a modern take with Elizabeth Moss. Had a great time with that, seeing that in the theater. So, 5 years later, we have this brand new film, 2025. And, it's a modern reimagining take, of course, of the classic Universal picture, having to do with, a kid and his dad in the beginning. They come across this creature, looks much like a wolf, and they fast forward, 30 years, later when he's an older man, his relationship with his family and how they get back to his childhood home.
Back to the old childhood home in a place that I know you love, the Pacific Northwest up there in Oregon. The setting is a very cool setting for the film. It works very well. You picture wolves and other awesome animals out there in the woods at night, and what better place to focus on this film than in the woods and with the big trees all around. You hear animals howling in the distance. You never know what's going to be out there late at night. And as the family's traveling to go stay at the family cabin, which Blake has, it's been in Blake's family since he was a kid, going out there and hunting with his dad all those years ago, and then finding him here in modern time, and they're trying to reconnect really as a family and get on the same page. So they decided to go on a trip, and their trucks just got into the cabin, and of course it's nighttime, and something bad happens right away. A crash happens, and that's when they come into contact with the first Wolfman.
That's right. The first time we come across that creature. But yeah, as you're saying, Pacific Northwest and Oregon, absolutely beautiful landscapes and shots of the forest and the trees and how desolate it is when he's a kid and his dad's trying to protect him, even though, young Blake's afraid of his father because he's a loose cannon. And it was a cool setup. I will say that the first act of the film, or the first, like 15, 20 minutes of the film, were really good. Like it set up a cool atmosphere, something different, diving in the Pacific Northwest and everything that can go on within these woods, middle of nowhere, have no cell service. And then it kind of sets up that atmosphere. And then, Blake older returning there. His marriage is on the rocks, not really great with Julia Gardner's character, Charlotte. That's his wife. She's like an established journalist, but their marriage is not very good. They can't communicate. So find out his father's dead, so they have to return back to the childhood home in Oregon cabin, and of course drive in the middle of the woods. Things don't go as they planned, and come across this werewolf-like creature that scratches Blake and make it back to the cabin. Sets up the rest of the film.
They changed the werewolf lore in this film. It doesn't go by the same tropes that we are always know, like the biting and then getting infected and then having an immediate transformation basically at the full moon. We don't get that with this. It's more of a virus that, is transforming Blake throughout the third act of the film, basically. He slowly transforms into the creature that, resembles a wolf, but really isn't a wolf. These are a different kind of creatures here. But I did like what Leigh Whannell did dealing with the trauma that Blake brought on from his father, and then, it coming over to his relationship with his daughter. You can tell that he gets triggered just like his dad did, but, before he, just completely goes off the edge and starts yelling at his daughter. He thinks about it and remembers, yeah, this isn't how I should do it. And they have a good, strong relationship. He is able to find comfort in his daughter and his daughter the same in him. And then after he's bit, you can see him slowly not only start to transform physically, but even, the relationship with the family and the communication, like you were mentioning, changes with him as he's changing. And that was really interesting about all this too. It's very much a psychological horror, more so than it is an actual horror. I was hoping for a little bit more horror, with the Wolfman himself, but it's very limited. They only come into contact with a couple other people in this movie besides the family. So there's not a lot of danger like from outside the family, but all the stuff that happens like within the cabin after he transforms like slowly, it picks up and there are a couple freaky parts, I will say. But overall, this takes more of a Cronenberg fly approach to the transformation, which is interesting. And I can appreciate him trying something different here, but we never get that like truly frightening Wolfman that we're used to in the past couple Wolfman movies, anyway.
Werewolf lore really bothered me. They kind of just forgot about all that. A lot of this movie takes place in the day, which annoyed me. Obviously there's some cool parts at night, but obviously not the full moon, but he already turns into this werewolf. And yeah, I just kind of ignored all that, which really bothered me. But it's a good looking movie. I thought, a lot of the practical effects on Christopher Abbott, that they're pretty good. I don't think the final product of the Wolfman was great, but I like the transformation. They did a lot of practical work, so I thought that was really awesome and convincing. And yeah, a lot of this has to do, with family trauma, their relationship, all in this cabin, and what happens with that. There's an outside werewolf, Wolfman basically trying to get in, but that was really the only frightening parts of the movie. Everything else is kind of, him transforming and changing. And I like the viewpoint of him too when he's transforming, like the color schemes and
Mhm.
like when Julia Garner's talking, it's all like distorted and it's hard to understand. It's from his viewpoint. I thought that was really cool and unique and
Mhm.
original. I did like some, like I said, the camera work was awesome and brought a new element to the movie.
I thought so too. Yeah, that was really cool. When he's looking at her, he like the eyes are glowing blue and he can kind of hear the words, but it's kind of muffled too.
Yeah.
So he really does put you into perspective of him like slowly transforming into the creature and him like slowly recognizing that it's his wife, but like it's slipping away too. Like he's kind of in between the two worlds now, being the human and the creature. And I also enjoyed the gore too, the practical effects, like when his teeth are falling out and his skin's ripping off, the flesh is peeling off. All that looked great. So this movie overall, it's not a big swing and a miss like we've seen from Blumhouse before. Just a little underwhelming from my aspect. I was hoping for more. If they would have kept up with the pace, like you mentioned, of that first 15 to 20 minutes, like that was awesome. That was a great start, and I was like fully invested. And then I felt it just kind of slowed down and never picked up again until the very end, where there was like the fight between the Wolfman. But yeah, there just wasn't enough horror and not enough full moons in this Wolfman.
I just bent over and pulled down my pants.
Right.
Yeah, I
Uh,
thought Leigh Whannell just was holding back in this movie and played it really safe. Like, some really cool, unique aspects of the camera work and things like that, but I don't feel like it ever really found its footing or had its full potential in this movie. Maybe there's an extended movie, more that we're going to get in the future instead of the theatrical, but yeah, I just thought he played it safe in this movie and definitely disappointed with the final product. I'm glad I watched it at home. Some good aspects about it. I like Christopher Abbott, Julia Garner were great. The daughter, played by Matilda Firth, I thought she was good, convincing. They were a convincing family, and the dad trying to protect her and what he's going through, and the mom keeps saying that he's sick, but really transforming into this creature. This movie felt like more of a
yeah.
skinwalker, which really bothered me. I'm like, this is not a werewolf.
Yeah.
Forgetting about all the lore, just a lot of it didn't make sense in that aspect. So that was very disappointing. So with that being said, I'm going to give Leigh Whannell's Wolfman. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 Christopher Abbott hair pieces.
And I am going to give Leigh Whannell's Wolfman a 3 out of 5 Julia Garner hair pieces.
So I want to hear from all you wild werewolves out there. What did you like about Wolfman? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite Wolfman movie? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to stab, subscribe. Check out these wild rascals on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
It almost seems like at this point that they can't get any of the Universal monsters right. Like we haven't had a good proper Universal monsters movie in a while. I know there's a couple Frankenstein movies coming out, so hopefully those will turn out a little better here. But overall, it's been hard to adapt these like modernly. I feel like the classics are, tough to beat at this point. We had a couple, we've had a couple good Wolfmans along the way. The Benicio del Toro one was a good one back in the 2010s, whenever that came out. I like that one. Thought that did a better job, with the Wolfman
Same.
lore. Yeah.
That was
So,
a
but
way better movie and way better theatrical
yeah,
experience. I thought they really had that down. Set design,
right.
practical effect, really
I want
great
to see a
movie.
Wolfman like adapt a story like that where we get like full on Wolfman, like just take it straight from the source material, just
Yeah.
go wild with it. It'll be interesting is Robert Eggers' werewolf film. You know,
I was about to say that. I'm like,
yeah,
Nosferatu was pretty close to a Universal horror movie, like monster
yeah.
movie. I thought Black and White, Castle. Yeah, and then we had that one coming out. So maybe we will from Robert Eggers. Maybe he'll do it right.
And also check out our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and X for all the latest and greatest in TV, movie news and reviews. And these boys have a lot to review, so stay tuned to this here channel. We'll be back on the next full moon. So until the next time, this has been Uncle Henry and Uncle Logan, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!
Cheers,